Alright, so this week I'm going to go through all four of my hives again. All four, I didn't go through that one either one last week. I'm going to go through all four hives and I'm going to check to see whether the donating brood has worked on this hive here. Someone suggested putting in a nuke and someone else suggested that I should just reduce the frames and use my dummy board to reduce the space for them. So I did that about 2 days after I filmed the video, and actually there was a good nectar flow on, so I pulled off the sugar syrup. So I'm just going to check to see how they're doing and see if it's worked, and hopefully the queen's laying in there. Okay, it's been raining this morning, so they're possibly a bit touchy, so I'm wearing my gloves again this week. The frames towards the centre there got quite a bit of honey in them. They're quite well capped. There's packing pollen in here. This is getting packed with honey. And again, that side's getting packed with honey. Full of brood. Right, we don't have any eggs in there, but as you see, the pattern is amazing. I say a bit touchy because it's been raining this morning. Whoa. Again, that is packed full of brood. That's all hatched out this last week. There's eggs. We've got eggs. It's just packed brood. Absolutely packed with brood. This is just packed with pollen and honey. The rest of it's just pollen and brood. Let's have a look and see how these guys are doing. So I've stopped feeding them this week, so I might need to feed them again. So they haven't touched that last frame. I was told to leave an empty frame out for young bees to draw out. So they've definitely got a much bigger population. So what I've done's worked to a point of adding brood from another hive. It's worked in the fact that they've got a bigger population. They're in full guard mode. They're pretty aggressive on the frames here. It might be because there's a wasp kicking around. This is the frame I gave them last week with brood. So this is what's hatched, and there's my queen right in the middle of the frame laying her eggs. She's in here, she's dipping into cells, she's laying eggs. This is very, very light. So I'm going to have to go and make some more feed up for this hive because they're not going to do well if I don't feed them, and the queen they'll stop laying if they don't have enough feed coming in. I'll come back later on with some feed for these, and that should hopefully help them lay. They're getting this to a point and then they just don't seem to be capping anymore. These guys have swarmed this year. Well, we split them to stop them from swarming, which was the first hive we inspected. Then I swarmed them like an artificial swarm. I took the queen out and put the queen in the next hive, and then they swarmed themselves because I accidentally left 2 queen cells in the hive after I took the queen out, so then they created a swarm. So one of them was my fault. That's just a honey and pollen. That's full of brood. Here, larvae, cap brood. Again, everything but eggs. We even got capped honey on here. We've got eggs on this one. We have got eggs on this frame. So the queen's been on here in the past day or two. We got eggs on this frame as well. And again, we got all stages. So now we have got all stages properly. Okay, that's a full pollen, honey frame. It's just full of honey. We got air drone in here and lots of capped honey. Nothing but capped honey. Wow, that's heavy. Well, this was undrawn last week, so they've drawn it out, and the other side is just honey and pollen. 3 hives done. They're just drawing these honey frames out. Got a good population from last week, 2 weeks ago. Honey, pollen. I'm drawing that side out, but that side's chocker with honey and pollen. Brood, larvae, Got brood, larvae, again, solid laying pattern, full of eggs. This is full of eggs. So this is honey, pollen, brood, larvae. So it's a good mix. So this is all honey apart from a small patch of brood at the bottom there. Slide this all back together. Alright, so I thought I'd just sit next to my buckwheat patch here because it's coming through to flower lovely. So there'll be some forage for these bees by the end of the week, I hope. So I've now fed Aurora, so that was my original queen Aurora. So she's been fed now, so she should help incentivise her to lay eggs, so I'll get a bigger brood going. The brood that hatched from what I put in last week should do well as well. There was a lot of eggs in there, so I think if I keep feeding syrup, because they had nothing in there, I think if I keep feeding syrup, they'll lay some more. The other 3 hives, I have no complaints. They're strong. There's eggs, there's everything, and they've got a lot of honey in there. So I've got no concerns whether they'll last the winter. They'll survive the winter, I think. It's just that one hive I'm concerned about. I'm not afraid to merge the 2 hives together. Not afraid to do that. I want to do what I can as best as I can to get the hive through of its own, and come out the winter with 4 hives ready to go. I am not going to sacrifice a hive over winter. If I have to merge them, I will. So if you keep watching the videos, you'll see how they do, and if they manage to get through the winter on their own, or I have to kill off the queen and then merge the 2 hives together to make a stronger colony. So as always, if you liked what you see, if you want to help me improve as a beekeeper, please put comments below. Also like and subscribe, you get notifications when I put up new videos. And if you're not on Instagram, or if you haven't got me on Instagram, please follow me on Instagram. I take up little snapshots around the property as things are getting developed or built or whatever I'm doing. Catch you in the next video.